Welcome to episode number 9 of the Mastering Marriage podcast, where our goal is to strengthen, unite, and restore your marriage. Hi everybody, my name is Amanda Taylor, and together with my husband David, we are the co-founders of MendOurMarriage.com, and our goal is to break the back of divorce by bringing married couples together to be accountable, keep the passion alive, and expose the hidden issues that try to rip marriages apart. And we are back in the booth, here again with me, Amanda Taylor, and my co-host, my man, and my husband, David Taylor.
DTZHBZ. That's me. Hey guys, welcome back. Now, first I want to say thank you for all of the support that we've been receiving on social media.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We just was on an interview yesterday. That was fun.
Exciting.
And yeah, we've been getting members to the site, so that's really great. So thank you. Secondly, I would like to let you guys know that we're going to switch it up a little bit for today's episode. So I hope that's okay. We may or may not answer a question today. Okay? It just depends on how long this episode lasts. But we may not get to a listener-submitted question. Don't worry. We're going to still answer questions. We just want to see what happens when we change things up just slightly. And today, I actually have a topic that we're going to be discussing. And I'm pretty excited about it. What you think, babe? You good? You all in?
Yeah, I'm all in. Let's go.
So we're going to discuss a topic because here's the theory behind switching it up a little bit. Is I know that when you say, for instance, on Facebook, you see us post a podcast, and the first thing you're going to read is the title. And if that title is something that does not interest you, or the question rather is something that does not interest you, or you may already have information about it, like the answer to the question, you may not listen to the show. And I don't want to segment all of the thousands and thousands of people that are out there that are married that need advice and help in their marriages. So we figured let's switch it up and see what happens. So today we're going to do a topical show. That makes sense? Not a topical like something you put on your skin, but a show on a particular topic. And today we're going to talk about emotional intimacy. But before we get started, I would like to let you know that this episode number 9, is brought to you on behalf of MendOurMarriage.com. And we have a wealth of information on that site. We have a couple of different membership packages, and we have an event coming up. And babe, tell the listeners what the name of the event is.
Well, the name of the event is pretty much going to be, drum roll please, it's going to be Couples Fitness and Spouse You.
Spouse You.
Yes.
That's hot. Now, tell people a little bit about what Spouse You means.
Well, Spouse You is basically Spouse University.
Yes.
That's where we are going to become students of our spouses.
Ooh, and you put a post out today that just rocked everybody's world. And really? I think it just motivated us to change, maybe the course of what we're going to do for the event coming up in October. And
I think that people are really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Spouse You sounds nice. It's tasty. I got to taste a little bit, a little aftertaste.
Slobbing?
A little bit. But anyway, now that we got that part out the way, let's dive right into the content because I have a lot to discuss. And Mandy, hopefully you're going to bring some stuff to the table because we about to dive deep.
Always
You got
do.
your scuba gear?
Always
All
do.
right. Now, this is not planned, by the way, guys. So we're just going to sometimes go off the dome and go off a little bit of the notes. But we're going to just dive in. So let's talk about emotional intimacy within the confines of a marriage. The term emotional intimacy may be foreign to some, especially men. Okay? I'll just start there. Because most men aren't used to being in touch with their emotions. Right? Now, women, y'all are easier around this topic, right? It's easy for you to get in touch with your emotions.
Yes, I believe that, yes. For the most part, women are a little bit more emotionally in touch with their inside.
I would say a lot of bit more. I was raised around 3 of y'all, and I knew that, I couldn't fit in with y'all because, I can't just tap into those emotional pools like y'all have. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about emotional intimacy for both men and women. Now, let me start by saying this. Marriage is supposed to not just bring two people closer. Get this, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is supposed to make two people one.
That's right.
That's some crazy math. 1 plus
really
1
is.
equals 1. How does that work?
In the world of marriage, it just does.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, so everything we talk about, I want you to at least keep that point in mind, that marriage is supposed to make two people one. It's like welding two pieces of metal together.
Exactly.
And I don't,
clay.
Or clay. But check this out. I don't know if you've ever been in like home ec shop in middle or high school back in the day. They probably don't do it now. But, you know, when you get to weld two pieces of metal together, the part that's welded actually is the strongest part of the metal.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like actually back in the day when they used to make swords, what they would do is they would dip the sword in the hot, fire and the coals, and then they would bring it out and they would pound it, and they were doing was they were spreading those molecules so that the metal in the sword was stronger, and that's the whole concept of marriage is it's welding two people together. Now, obviously, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Now, obviously, when you do that, though, there's going to be a lot of conflict and issues that come up. So, and one of those things is intimacy. Now, when we use the word intimacy, most of us think about what?
Sex.
Sex, yeah. Oh, you got a little hype.
You got
You
excited.
want to pause this?
No, you got.
We're going to handle it. Okay, let's stop. Anyway, I got a little bit. Because we worked out together today, and that kind of got because you had some pheromones in the room, and I was like, okay, let me
get back to the podcast. I'm sorry. Emotional intimacy.
But see what happened? We think of intimacy most of the time. We think of physical intimacy, and so, but there's many different types of intimacy, right? There's spiritual intimacy, relational intimacy, physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. So, so especially for men, we need to make sure that we have this concept under wraps. Now, I'll say it this way: often when we get married with clogged pipes.
And what exactly does that mean, David?
Well, think about, when you ever had one of those moments when you was on the toilet and a little too much went down and it clogged the pipe, and so there was a lot of back overflow. You
went there, huh?
I'm just saying, think of a clogged pipe like that.
It makes sense.
Or here's another one. Because my wife is natural, for y'all that don't know. And so natural women have a higher propensity of having a lot of extra hair all over the place. Sometimes I think they spiders, but they look curly cute. I was waking up like, is that a spider? But it's her hair. But anyway, like when you washing your hair or you're in the sink and your sink is starting to drain a little slower, it's because it's clogged and it may have an extra residue inside.
Exactly.
I.e. the hair that you shed so often. But anyway, just and often we bring those issues, our past issues, to our marriage. And what happens if you look at your marriage like a pipe and you look at all those past issues as potential things that can clog the marriage up, that's what happens. We bring our drama, we bring our trauma, we bring our past pain, we bring our perceptions, our realities, our truths, our beliefs, our religious beliefs, our family upbringings. We bring all of that with us to the marriage, and that often serves as a blockage to the progress of the marriage.
To the process of becoming one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true, baby. Because if my issues are in my way of connecting to you, I can't connect to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I want to stay on my side of the street with my own past baggage and my own past behaviors and culture, and I'm not ready to merge that with my spouse, then we cannot become one.
And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Oh, this gonna get juicy because that's good. You jumping ahead. But it's good. I told y'all we didn't script this. But think about this: when my issues are at the forefront of my marriage, they become the focus of my marriage. So let's say I had a past traumatic experience, and let's say like what happened to me was my mom and dad divorced when we were young, and let's say that affected my mentality or perception of marriage. Then when I get married, I will carry those beliefs with me. And they then become the focus of how I present myself within the confines of the marriage. You get it?
Yep.
Does that make sense? Cool. So now I say this to my clients all the time. And they be like, what the heck are you talking about, Dave? Well, they don't call me Dave, but you know what I mean? I say this. Remember that your spouse is your mirror. And with enough time, they will reflect back to you all of who you are. You got that?
That's really good. You're gonna have to break that down for everybody.
Well, okay. So so imagine you are a mirror, and whenever I look at you, I see me, right? Like in the morning when you go in the mirror and you're doing your hair.
Exactly.
And often we negate the fact that our spouses will reflect and refract back to us all of who we are throughout the course of the marriage. So often whenever I have an issue with you, it's usually because it's something in me that I'm seeing in you.
Right. And it's really important to know, because I know some people may refute that, saying that that's not true, but it may not be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But it's the attributes or certain characteristics of that behavior or action.
Exactly. Good.
That you may share or you may be seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Or temperaments, mannerisms, mindsets. But yeah, you're right. It may not always be 100% the case. But the overwhelming majority of the time, it is the case. And when I say overwhelming majority, it's like up in the 90 percentile. So, but here's the thing. If you really want to be seen, like if you really want to be exposed, get married. Like if you want all your junk to be out eventually, get married, because your spouse will do that for you eventually.
And when we say junk out, we mean outside of your heart, outside of, your hidden place.
Yeah. Inside of your heart. The deeper things, the deep recesses of your soul, the skeletons that's in your closet.
You want those things to be out.
Then get married.
Out the bag.
Because marriage will expose those things.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about that, though, because I believe most people realize that. Most people know that they are showing their spouse their true colors, and then they hide that. And
or they try to.
Or they try to hide that. They try to hide that. And see, emotional intimacy is all about becoming vulnerable, right? I said that word right.
Wow. You did. Good job, baby.
It's all about becoming vulnerable. Like you can't hide from your spouse.
Right.
If you hide from your spouse, it serves as a blockage. And the more blockages you have, the less likely you guys are going to become one. So just keep that in mind. Emotional intimacy is all about becoming vulnerable, because you cannot hide things from your spouse. If you do, eventually they're going to be reflected back to you, and they will serve as distractions in your marriage. What do you think about that, baby?
And I think that's why it's really important, just going back, that you become a student of your spouse, and that you really get to know them and their intentions, their hearts.
Yes.
And why they do what they do.
Yes.
Because you have to build that trust, in order, to move forward in that.
Yeah.
In order to be comfortable with being vulnerable, you have to really trust somebody.
And here's the thing. Here's where I think Mandy and I ran into an impasse early on in our marriage. I don't believe Mandy fully trusted my capabilities of protecting her emotional well-being, because I started off the relationship like a life coach, and so like hands-on, let's fix this, why do you think this way, all these questions. And I believe it kind of caused Mandy to, and you can speak for yourself, but I believe personally it caused you to kind of go back into your shell, so to speak, and become more self-preserving.
Yeah, I know that I did, because I believe in the beginning of our relationship, I wasn't fully being myself, because I felt like I had to perform for David. I felt like I had to, be a certain way, because he was challenging me in so many areas, because he does have a counseling background, and so he was trying to help.
But I just didn't do it the right way.
Yeah, it was more of a coach instead of a husband, a companion, a lover.
I wasn't patient, yeah.
So
that's good. See, and so consider this. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you exposed your soul to your spouse? I'm gonna pause there. Think about that. Have you exposed your soul to your spouse? Now, if the answer is no, I want you to ask yourself why.
Well, let's take a second, though, and explain what the soul is.
Okay,
that's your mind, your will, and your emotions.
Yeah, and actually, let's take a step along the lines of what Mandy said, and I'll even give you some things to ask or to consider whether or not you're exposed. Have you exposed your past traumas to your spouse? Have you told them if you were molested sexually or emotionally, or abused or physically abused, or if you were raped, or if you incurred any type of major traumatic situation that affected who you are and your childhood, if it's stuck with you, have you exposed that to your spouse? Do they know? You about to say something, baby. Go on in.
Well, what I was going to say was I've heard people respond to that statement with, well, they don't need to know all of those things. Well, if you look deeper.
Yes, go deep, baby.
If you look deeper, then those types of issues, if you really haven't been healed, if you really haven't let those things go, can creep into your bedroom.
Oh my gosh, they will.
They will creep into your bedroom. They will creep into your conversations. Like if you're engaging in healthy conflict with your spouse, so you all are, maybe you both are disagreeing on something. But in order to get to that, in order to get to a consensus or an agreement on it, you have to get through that conflict.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that in a healthy manner, you get, defensive and rejected.
Yeah.
And you get really super angry because you are feeling like the person is attacking you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's deeply rooted from your past trauma.
If you have not been healed from your past trauma, they will affect your worldview. They will. It's not an option. If you have not healed from your past trauma, those issues in some form or fashion will affect your worldview.
Exactly.
They will.
And if you are still in unforgiveness of the person or people who caused you that trauma, then you're really not healed. You're not healed. You're not healed.
And that's a blockage. That's going to serve as a blockage. That's going to affect your ability to become one.
Exactly.
Good stuff, baby. Good stuff. Have you exposed your past mistakes? Right? Mm-hmm. What about any type of financial issues that you had in the past? Have you exposed that to your spouse? Mm-hmm. Have you made poor decisions that has maybe led to a legal issue and that's affected your career outlook or anything? Have you talked about, have you had a child out of wedlock with someone else way back years ago, or maybe had an abortion, right? Anything. Have you talked about any of your past mistakes? And these are things to consider because these things often creep up in future situations. They may look different, but once you peel back the layers, it's that issue or that trauma or that drama rearing its ugly head again.
Right.
Let me ask you another one. And this is not just to you, baby, but just to people. Have you exposed your past habits? One of the most uncomfortable conversations that I had to have with my spouse, with my wife, with Mandy Blair, was the concept of pornography. Mm-hmm. And I know early on in our marriage we talked about this. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think we even talked about this prior to marriage when we was engaged.
Right.
But my habits of pornography. Mm-hmm. And that was a very uncomfortable conversation because nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about that habit that I had. Exactly. And because the issue that I had was, okay, if I tell her, then she's going to automatically assume that in future situations, I'll probably still have that issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And Mandy did the same thing. She exposed that part to me. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was very noble. But have you done that with your spouse? What about cigarettes or drinking or drugs or spending habits? Mm-hmm. What about any type of unhealthy habit that you're keeping hidden? Have you exposed that part of your soul to your spouse?
That's good. Yeah,
I need you to think about that. Because if not, these are the issues, these are the gaps that cause blockages. And if we take the sword analogy, again, that I talked about at the top of the show, whenever a swordsmith or a blacksmith was wielding or developing a sword, like I said, he would stick that metal into this he would stick the metal into the hot coals in the fire, and he would pull it out, and the metal would be like an orange reddish color. And then what he would do is he would look very closely on this sword for the black. There would be small black dots. And what he would do is if he saw these small black dots, is he would take this hammer, this heavy hammer, and he would hammer those black dots. Because those black dots represented the places or the gaps where the molecules did not bond appropriately. Mm-hmm. So those were the weak points of the sword. Mm-hmm. And the blacksmith did not want the sword to break on the person that was going to be wielding it in battle. Because if you in battle and your sword break, it's a wrap. So imagine how many people are married today, mm-hmm. and they're walking around with those black spots on their sword. These gaps in the molecules that's supposed to be mended. Mend-our marriage. That's supposed to be mended, but they aren't mended because they have not been taken out of the fire and hammered enough and discussed enough and talked about. We keep it hidden. We want to keep our weak points. Well, guess what? In the heat of the battle, when it's really necessary, your sword may break. And that's why we have divorces, right? That's why so many people are getting divorces, because they have weak spots and they don't have a strong enough weapon to protect their marriage.
A strategy, yes.
Ooh. I was preaching for a second, just for myself.
You went
I just was going to wipe my own forehead because I started, water, offering, what we taking? Let me stop.
Oh,
but you really want to think about that. You really want to think about, have you exposed your soul to your spouse? Okay, let's move on. Think about this. Your insecurities will keep you hidden. Yeah. They will absolutely keep you hidden. Now, you can't expect to fully love if you're limited by your insecurities. And yes, your securities are limitations. They're liabilities. They don't add value to you. Protecting them makes you feel like you're adding value to yourself, because guess what? Nobody gets to see these things, these issues. But what they're really doing is debilitating you. They're slowing you down in the race. And if you hide your insecurities or hide behind them, then you can't fully love. It's just impossible.
Right.
Yeah. Because love, remember, what's the definition of love, baby?
It's to give.
To give. Yeah. And really, it means to give all of who you are and all of what you have.
All of me.
Sing it, baby. Sing it. You know what I mean? And so you can't fully love if you continue to protect your inadequacies. And that's especially for men. Because guess what, men? We want to be seen as masculine. We want to be seen as strong, as competent. We want our wives to look at us and just fall out of, just because they love us so much and they're just so enamored. And we don't want to show our wives that we have areas that are weak.
Right. And the thing is, the opposite is true. When you are confident enough and brave enough to expose those things, that's really showing true strength. And then also think about it like this: when you have insecurities and you expose those to your spouse, those may be, and more than likely in most cases, be their strengths.
Oh gosh, I was just about to say that. That
you
was,
gonna say it.
My goodness, baby, you preaching. Let me dab your forehead. Come here, give me that forehead. Oh, let me dab it. I like your forehead. That's a good boulder. That's off of, what's that off of Shrek?
Off of Shrek.
I'm sorry, I just got distracted. But I'm speechless because that's so good. Consider this: the more you protect, I can't get it out, baby. You just knocked me off my feet. I got so hype. I'm turned up. Let me turn down a little bit. Okay, let me try this again. Think about this though: the more you protect you, the more you disrupt your spouse's ability to become your helpmeet. And you have to trust the process of marriage. If you guys were brought together, if God, ordained your marriage, or however you want to see it, you have to trust there's a reason that this person is the closest person to you. And my inadequacies are my wife's strengths. But if I walk around like I don't have any inadequacies, I'm blunting or blocking her ability to truly reach her potential in the relationship. That is so. I mean, you gotta catch that.
And if you know everything and got everything together, why did you get married?
Yeah. Then there's no reason to have a helpmeet.
Right.
Now I understand you want to be completely whole before you get married.
Yes, exactly.
But the reality of it is, most of us don't get married completely whole. Exactly. As a matter of fact, I haven't met a whole person in marriage. And maybe that it's designed that way. Maybe we need Christ. And maybe we need our spouses because there are areas in our lives that because we're so busy trying to, be someone we're not, we can't see our own issues. And our mirror or our spouse will show us the areas in our lives that we need to fix and change.
That's right.
Right? Because how else am I going to really reach my true potential if I don't have something showing me what I am doing wrong and what I need to attain? And so yeah, if you walk around hiding all of your inadequacies and your insecurities, you're stopping your partner's ability to really truly become who they really are supposed to be in the relationship.
That's good.
You gotta chew on that nugget because that's a thick one right there. That'll get you stopped up for a while. So Now,
We don't want to stop you.
we don't want to stop you up.
That'll free you.
That'll free. now,
Lord.
now, I understand that in about 20 minutes I dumped a lot on you. So I want you to, if you need to go back and listen to this again, okay? But I want to give you some steps towards developing emotional intimacy. Okay, so all my brothers, all my ladies out there, I'm going to give you 6 steps. 6 steps towards developing emotional intimacy. And let me see, maybe we'll have time for the question. Will we? Maybe not. I don't know. It depends. I may go ham again. All right, so check this out. Here's step number 1 towards establishing emotional intimacy. Here's what I want you to do, okay? Because I'm not going to give you just a bunch of head knowledge, but I'll give you tangible tools to do. Step number 1 is change your mindset about being vulnerable with your spouse. Mm-hmm. Literally change it. If it's something negative, if it's something that's counterproductive towards the goal of marriage, I need you to change your mindset. So if you walk into a wedding or a marriage thinking that you don't have to be vulnerable, or the past is just the past and you don't have to share it with your spouse, then that's going to serve as a blockage. And that's going to interfere with your ability to be who you are and their ability to be who they are. And so change that mindset, challenge it. Yes, you need to be vulnerable. You need to be emotionally intimate with your spouse, not just physical.
Right.
Sex is not going to save your marriage.
No,
It's not.
because if something happens that you can be physically intimate,
Exactly.
what else will you have?
What else will you have? You got to have something deeper. And that's where the emotional intimacy
and
is.
spiritual.
And spiritual. Oh, we didn't get to that one yet. Mm-hmm. We may have to do it part 2.
We're going to have a whole podcast
Yes,
on
Lord.
that as well.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, we will. We really will. Now, here's step number 2. Establish a household rule that states this. Okay, this is the rule.
What's the rule, baby?
This is now, and I want you guys to use this rule, okay? This is the rule. You give your spouse permission to be vulnerable, okay? And that you also will protect them and their trust in you at all times and at all costs.
You need to write that down and put that on the wall.
Put it on the wall, tattoo it on your armpit, whatever you got to. I'm sorry, armpit.
On your armpit?
It's a little painful, but it just came out.
You snap.
Yeah. But seriously, I'm going to say this rule again. The rule is this. You give, or I give my spouse permission to be vulnerable, and I will protect them and their trust in me at all times and at all costs. That means that when in the heat of the battle, when there's a conflict and you're arguing, you cannot use their inadequacies as a weapon against them. Exactly. You cannot, because that will completely destroy trust.
Yes.
So you have to protect it, and you have to make that vow. Okay? You hear me? Y'all on the treadmill, at work, wherever y'all at, listen, take notes. Seriously. That's a vow that you got to take. Step number 3 is this. And this is, I'm going to challenge you. We're taking it a step deeper.
Let's go.
I want you to develop an insecurity list. You didn't think I was going to say that, did you? Develop an insecurity list where you list your top 5 insecurities. And don't act like you ain't got 5, okay? And if you don't, top 3, whatever.
It can be insecurity or fear, that those kind of go hand in hand.
Fears or insecurities, yes. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up, baby. That's why you might help me. Because I could just say stuff and thank you, baby.
Aww.
Thank you. But anyway, develop a list of your top 5 fears/insecurities. Okay? Once you do that, I want you to schedule a time, actually 2 different times, to meet with your spouse to discuss your list. Now, here's the deal. You're going to schedule a time to meet with your spouse to discuss your list. They're going to schedule a time to meet with you to discuss their list. So there's 2 different meetings, but both of you guys are going to develop a list and schedule a time to discuss your list. Okay?
Exactly, and I think that's a good idea to schedule 2 different times because you both can prepare mentally,
exactly,
spiritually and emotionally,
yes,
to either be vulnerable while you're sharing your list, or to be a support
while they're sharing. Good.
For your spouse while they're sharing theirs.
That's really good, and that way they have enough time. You're not going to rush it. Hour may not be enough. So that way 1 meeting for them, 1 meeting for you.
Exactly.
Step number 4 is this. Step number 5 is this. Give your list to your spouse in advance. So let's say you say next Tuesday we're going to sit down and have a family meeting where we're going to discuss your list. Then you give your list to your spouse. I want to say a week in advance. I really want to say that. But if you can't do it a week in advance, make sure that it's not the day before. Because you want to give your spouse enough time to look over that list. And if they have any questions, to develop questions or any thoughts or feelings, to write those down. But you want to give your spouse your list. And then the last step is just simply to meet with your spouse to discuss your list. Now, here's the rules of engagement. Okay, after when you meet, you want
Can we go back to number 5?
Yeah, go back to number 5.
So when your spouse gives you their list, take that time to meditate over that and to pray over that list. And that way you can be prepared with some affirmations to give them.
Ooh, that's good.
Some prayers to pray over them.
That's
and
good.
To just agree with them that, you are in support of them and that you're going to, help them to be strong with overcoming those insecurities and fears.
That's good, because you can use this in the meeting with your spouse.
Exactly.
And that was going to be part of the rules engagement, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Is to make sure that you're affirming your spouse, your partner, and you are giving them adequate time to be heard, understood, and affirmed. Okay?
Exactly.
So you're going to be listening. You're going to ask questions, but not judgmental questions, not why did you questions. Make sure that you ask the right question, because you ask the wrong question, you get the wrong answer. So, but that's it. Those are the 6 steps towards developing emotional intimacy. It's going to take some time. It's going to take you taking the risk of exposing yourself, right?
Exactly. And spouses that are receiving this information, you're going to be the student of your spouse for that session.
Yes. And so, and this is all about helping you to become a better student of your spouse.
Exactly.
Because you're going to learn some information about them that you probably wish you wouldn't have known, and so you're going to have to be able to take that information and do the right thing with it.
Right. And be supportive and
objective and positive. Exactly. Those are good things. So, guys, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and end the show, or at least end this part here. We're over 30 minutes, so
we will make sure to answer another question from Monday's show.
We got y'all.
Most definitely.
But here's the thing. I want to hear y'all's feedback about this type of show. I want to know, was this information tangible? Did it help you guys? What did you guys receive out of it? Please let us know. You can leave us a review. Please leave us a review on iTunes. You can leave us a rating as well, because we like to continue to get ratings. But also send us messages. Email us. Let us know. You know how to get in touch with us on Facebook or, on email. But you can find us. Mm-hmm. And anything else, baby? You got anything else you want to say?
I think that's about it. If you're in the Orlando, Florida area, and you want to come out to our event on October 18th.
Oh, we about to kick y'all butts.
Orlando.
We about to kick y'all butts. Y'all gonna be sweating.
Come see us.
Y'all gonna be sweating. Oh my gosh.
You're gonna be so.
At Spouse U, we
it's
about
so
to
funny
go.
Because I have a lot of people that comment on the videos. Oh, that's gonna lead to sex. Oh, that's gonna do this.
Y'all
okay,
gonna be too
go
tired
ahead and do this workout. You ain't gonna want to have sex. Nothing.
And we're gonna be laughing.
You're gonna be asleep.
Because you're gonna be like we were today.
Dreaming about sex.
Legs wobbly. But anyway, but guys, we appreciate your time. Again, please leave us a comment or a review on iTunes. Share this with everybody you know, okay? And until next time, you'll hear back from us on what, Monday?
Monday.
All right, y'all, on Monday. We out, y'all.
Deuce.
Deuces.